before we started working together, what was going on for you personally in your life?
I was kind of just running life as just the run of the mill thing. I wasn't really striving to do anything or to try and better myself. I was basically just following a very mediocre path. In my personal life and in my career, I wasn't really taking anything serious. I just thought that because I finished, university, whatever, that was it. I've made it. I don't have to do any better. And I was kind of really starting to affect my progression as well, my personal life and my career too. So looking back in it now, like this, it's been a very big eye opener for me. Looking back at the way that I used to carry myself, the way that I used to show up, the way that I used to handle people and situations, it's completely changed who I am now. Looking back in that time in my life as well, I think it affected my friendships as well because there was a lot of people pleasing involved, and it felt that I wasn't coming across as my to be authentic self.
So what was that final trigger point that allowed you to say yes to you and this work and you embarking on this journey?
I would have to say that I just felt trapped, my own kind of head and my own personal life as well. I didn't really see myself going anywhere, and it felt like I plateaued in my life. This is it. I'm now late 30s. This is life. This is the way life's going to be now. But I suppose somewhere in the background as well, I always knew that I could always do better for myself. I could always reach higher pinnacles in my own life. I finally pulled myself aside and said that this what I was going through at the time. This wasn't it. There has to be more. And then the door opened, and then I kind of just started. Then it was a strange time. It was almost like like I was about to burst out of myself. The All the intentions were there. I just didn't have the direction or knowledge on how to apply anything or how to move forward. So
And so when you did start on the journey, what changes did you first notice, like really early on in the journey?
it started opening up my curiosity a lot because I was stepping into a new field. I was essentially learning a brand new language
Mm.
um, that I've never experienced before. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know where it was going to take me. What I noticed the most was very quickly, once I started kind of digging a little bit deeper into myself, that things became a lot more clear, and everything that felt trapped beforehand started to slowly unravel itself. And rather than being completely confused and lost, it started to unravel and become a lot more clearer, almost like tiny little threads, bit by bit. It was all starting to unravel. And I noticed as well earlier on, as my thoughts were starting to clear up in my head, were starting to clear up my language and how I would come across started to become a lot more cognitive as well. Like it became a lot clearer, a lot quicker. I
Mm.
found myself starting to explain things a lot easier. And then the deeper that I went into myself, the more easier it was for me to explain myself or explain whatever it might have happened to be at the time. To answer your question in a nutshell, the first thing I noticed was more clarity.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. Now, having gone on the journey, what feels most different to you in your life and your relationships, in yourself now after the progress, the immense progress that you've made and the growth in this journey that you've been on?
Looking back at who I was and who I am today, they're two completely different people. But it was like I was looking down on like an unguided, lost young man, thinking that I knew everything, that I had life by the balls. I knew what I was doing, but it turns out that I didn't actually have a clue. I was just doing everything else that everyone else was doing because I thought that's what it was expected of me. I suppose in my personal life and as my role as a manager as well. I had the mentality back then that I'm a manager, I'm a boss, that's it. People do as I say, not as I do, kind of. But looking back in it now, as I started to grow through the programs and through my own journey, I became more of a leader. So people were starting to become more drawn to me, and I was able to lead them in the direction that they needed rather than just tell them where they needed to go. I was able to open things up with curiosity and understanding, and take it from there. And I felt then that the journey for myself and other people was starting to move a lot smoothly forward. It was quite a transformation. And for me, I think it happened quite quickly too. It was a massive identity change because I was able to take everything I was learning and apply that to my personal life, like through my friendships and my relationships as well. I was no longer the people pleaser, just trying to get people to follow me and like me just for who I wasn't, but rather than they were coming to me for who I actually was, and that to me was a massive boost on my self-esteem and my confidence. And then obviously it still goes on today. People still come to me today from higher up looking for guidance and advice. And it's completely like changed my whole perspective on myself and who I used to be and who I continue to grow into.
Love that. Really well done. Huge acknowledgements to you. It's such a privilege to be on this journey with you and everything that it is that you've achieved. With that
Yeah.
being said, what insight would you give someone now who might be where you were before you started?
As you knew me back then, I was so in myself, reserved, that it took you probably a few calls and a few weeks to even get a conversation or a straight line out of me. If you feel like, if, I suppose what I would advise, if you feel that you're ready to start on this journey, no matter where you're at, go ahead and take the first step because no matter what you do in life, especially brand new, you're always going to be a beginner. No one's expecting you to be an expert or some sort of guru after just picking up a call with a coach or somebody. It's changed my life massively, both in my personal life and my career, and it's helped me clarify a lot of my kind of goals and focus on them and be accountable to them. And it gives you direction, it gives you purpose, and it gives you strength as well, just to carry on.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thank you so much for sharing everything that you have done. Very well done. Huge congratulations and acknowledgements to everything that it is that you've created in your life and continue to strive and create as well. It's been such a pleasure, such an honor working with you. And I really want to say thank you for sharing everything that it is that you have shared here today.
Absolutely, mate.